Hello everybody and welcome back. Now in case you guys are wondering, I am still at NUS USC, that's at another location of basically another table over here. Today I'll be going through a very simple game that I was playing during part of my training with the Lichess Stockfish engine level 6. And yeah, I was playing this game from this prepared position. If you look at it, is the more experienced people would immediately recognize it as a Khan exchange variation with the pawn structure like this. Except that instead of c3, which is the main line, white has opted to play knight to c6 here, so the plans for white do change slightly. A bit of background as well. This game is um, the time control is 15 plus 5, that is rapid. And yeah, as you guys know, I always love to play my training games with improvement. That's my personal preference. Now, anyway, I'm taking black over here, and as I said previously during my SP speed test recap, I do want to try and improve on the way I handle the Khan exchange variations, and this is one of those training games. Alright, so let's start. Now, normally in this position, I have tried knight to f6. That is a very respectable move, but over here I decide to go for a more aggressive try with bishop to g4, immediately challenging this pawn in the center because the knight is played with a. And right from the start, I do not understand why, but this engine seems to really love giving itself a challenge by castling and playing in very difficult opening positions. Like, dude, already here, black is gaining an advantage because I can just take. Alright, and let me capture with the queen, which is what he actually plays in this position, and I just win a free pawn. And if he captures with the pawn, then you have double pawns. Yeah, and your king is sitting on the open file, right? So rest in peace your pawn structure, basically. But anyway, Stockfish level 6 chooses to play queen takes f3 over here, and I get a free pawn. Like, oh yeah, congratulations Stockfish, you just threw all my Khan opening pair out of the window. Alright, sure, I'm going to get this extra pawn, I'm going to crush you slowly. Will I crush him? I mean, look, this is 0-1, man. I lost this game, so how did that happen? You'll find out. But anyway, after queen takes f3, knight takes d4, and yeah, here I just develop as per normal. He finally plays c3, that's a little bit too late. Knight to f6, h3, of course, again, that's a little bit too late as well. And over here, I debated whether I wanted to go e5, sticking a claim in the center, or just continue solidly with e6. If I play e5 now, then black can cause some trouble with bishop to b4 and bishop to b5. And I thought of it, I just calculated for a while, and I was like, dude, it's not worth the time to calculate all this. So I go for the safe option, e6. Right. And here, queen to g3. White poses me with a very, very important question. It is regarding this pawn over here, which means that I can't just develop this bishop as and when I like. So the critical question is this. Do I protect this pawn by pushing g6? Do I go rook to g8? Or do I just completely give up this pawn? Give back the pawn and play something like bishop to d6? Well, let's see. Let's say I do something like g6. Yeah, sure, I mean, this is definitely playable and I can go for something like this, but the problem is that there's a lot of dark square weaknesses around my camp, so that is not ideal from a positional standpoint. I can go rook to g8, that is a very awkward move, to be honest, but after something like bishop to g5, then my position is in a bit of trouble. Yeah, because there's always this random stuff that might happen, and I need to be careful. How strong is Stockfish level 6? Yeah, on Lichess it says that it's 2300, although I honestly don't believe it. Stockfish level 6, I find it slightly stronger than me. My Lichess Blitz rating is about 1800, and Stockfish level 6, I find it probably about 2k, yeah, around that level. But yeah, my head-to-head record with Stockfish level 6 is actually quite poor, even though I do manage to win a few games every now and then. Alright, thank you. Alright, so back to the main line. Bishop to g3. So I was saying that g6 and rook to g8 is... I don't really like those moves. But you know something? I can actually give up the pawn altogether because I'm already up a pawn. With bishop to d6, developing. And now I force him to make a decision. You need to take the pawn or you retreat the queen. he chooses to take the pawn. And for those of you who are experienced, does this smell very familiar? That looks like a poison pawn, right? Because after rook to g8, where's the queen gonna go? You only have one square. Queen to h6, right? And if white is not careful, this queen is going to it may get trapped. Although definitely not at the moment. Ideally over here as black, I would love to play rook to g3, because especially considering that this file is already open, and I really do want to build up a nice attack over here, but unfortunately that fails because this bishop harbors here, and yeah, the two bishops are actually eyeing down these two squares. I need to be quite careful before I proceed. And now here actually as black, I am facing another difficult choice. You see, ideally I want to bring my king to the side of the board, castle queen side, and then after that connect my heavy pieces, just bring everything in. How about n5 training the bishop? Yes, I definitely considered that as well. Yeah, knight to e5, and then try to pick up this bishop. And in fact, I did play that later on eventually. Yeah, as you will see. But anyway, the bigger priority for me right now is, okay, how do I get this queen? How do I get this rook into the game? And yes, and like what Robert said, how do I get this knight into the game? Which I did with knight to e5 later on. Right? I could do something like queen here, up, down. It's not some very funky move, but then after that I castle queen side, and then and something like that. The problem is that this knight hangs because the queen is putting pressure on here, and the queen here is being tied down to the defense of my knight. I can't really move it around if I want to try and regroup my pieces. It is quite tricky. But hey, nobody said that I have to castle queen side, right? Nobody said that I actually have to castle. In fact, I can just pick queen to d7 and just calmly keep my king in the center. Come on. And instantly, half of my problems are solved. Now my queen can go into the... And now all these are connected. Yay, hooray. I'm happy now. Right. So yes, queen to d7 was my eventual choice. I think I thought here for about 1.5 minutes. But key to h1 for white. Yeah, presumably try to get out of this pin. But that only gives me time to continue bringing in more pieces into the attack with knight to e5 as exactly what Robert suggested. Hitting this bishop and then bringing pieces closer over to the king. Now white chooses to go for bishop to b5 check. In my opinion, I thought this was not a good choice to make. He should have just kept this bishop on the diagonal and then try to continue covering this square as well as here. Yeah. Oh, and I do want to point out that instead of king to h1, if white had chosen to take this pawn, bishop takes h7, then I saw that actually after rook to h8, again white is in a lot of trouble, this bishop is pinned. I think the only way he can save himself over here is bishop to g5. And after this series of captures, yeah, even though black is a pawn up, actually I still have a lot of pressure on the king side with all these open flaws over here. And this bishop just pointing towards the king side. Yeah, so it's definitely very tricky to play over here. Yeah. But anyway, king to h1 was played, knight to e5 now. Bishop here check. I just calmly step away. My king is actually quite safe over here. Also, you note that all of white's pieces are relatively undeveloped, so I'm not so afraid of them. And now bishop to e2. And as you can see, the reason why this is not here is because now this square is being left open, and it allows me to come in with rook to g6. And now you see, after the queen goes back, queen to g8. And yeah, I have full control over this diagonal. What is really... Hello illusion, good to see you here. Yeah, after this, white is pretty much forced to defend this pawn. If he goes for g3, then knight to the knight to e4 is a very strong move. And the threat here is really, I'm just going to sacrifice here and blow upon this entire position. If he goes for something like bishop to f3, then I'll just take. And then you just open. I have a lot of pressure along this. Well, anyway, white chooses to play g4 over here. That looks okay, right? that looks okay. You know, you avoid all these funny tricks. But still, black has a lot of options. And over here, red. Yeah, sure, sure. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Stream red. I got stream raided before actually. But honestly, why would you guys be looking at my own partner level analysis? I mean, spoiler alert, I lost this game in the end. And you guys, if you guys come here, yeah, because you are just gonna watch me embarrass myself, right? Anyway, G4 played over here, and here I have a number of options. I can play knight to E4, right? So I could try to play bishop to E7 indirectly attacking the queen, but that's not so good because this bishop is on 3. So I will need to waste a bit more time doing this comeback and try to hold the position, during which white can try to catch back in development, thus developing all the pieces and then connect the rooks and try and defend the king side. Another alternative is just play very simple, queen to G8, queen to G7, and then rook to G8, right? Which sounds very logical. And then after that you go for H5, sorry, and then just blow open this. But again, that also gives time for white to defend, to catch up in development. And yeah, after you hold this pawn, actually, white is definitely more safe if it's given this time. Finally, I think of the most forcing move over in this position, which is I just sacrifice the knight here on G4. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll appreciate it, man. Knight is G4. I mean, and actually over here there are quite a lot of complications in place because I did calculate it after H4 knight takes. And if bishop takes G4, which he did not play in this game, and rook takes G4, over here, even though there's no quick knockout blow after queen to H5, yeah, even though there's no quick knockout blow for black over here, which I saw, which I couldn't calculate, but my instinct tell me that black already has the upper hand in this position. I mean, just look at this. He has complete control of this file. The white pieces are just completely asleep, and yeah, there's always this threat if I'm able to get in something like this and then double attack on the king. This king is in such a horrible position. In fact, I feel that I could just, I do have all the time in the world here to just play and just double up here, and there really isn't anything that white can do. I mean, okay, later on I did see that he has this resource. It's queen to G7, bishop to H6, and it does look scary at this. I didn't see this during the actual game, by the way. But the problem here is that after queen to G6, yes, it might look like, oh, what am I doing? I'm trading off queens here and just disrupting my own attack. But after this, look at this. The bishop still hangs. And after the bishop retreats, rook to G8. And again, white is still under a lot of pressure. So now the threat is this. I'm just going to go here. I have control over this file, and actually after here is mate. It's mate. So if white wants to hold this position, he really needs to know what he's doing. Right? Yeah, I've gone too deep into the variation, so let me go back to the original position over here. And yeah, like I said, I chose to set the knight over here. And another reason why I chose to do that is because normally in an actual tournament game, I would never have the balls to play this sacrifice. Right? But come on, it's a training game. Hey, come on, I want some fun, man. Just stack the piece. Yeah, let's go. So knight takes G4, pawn takes G4, knight takes G4, and I've already shown you guys what happens when you play bishop takes G4, rook takes G4. But instead of that, black chose not to accept that sacrifice. He develops with bishop to D2. Alright, so I actually did not calculate this, and yeah, now I needed a bit more time to think. And by the way, I'm down to my last 4 minutes, so the time pressure that is already starting to get on to me, but it's alright. At this stage, I was like, yeah, it's okay, you know. I will just continue on with my actual plan if he chooses not to contest me on this square. And I proceed with queen to G7. Right. Now of course the threat is this. And then all hell breaks loose on the G file. And here, white plays a very interesting move. knight to a3. And in my opinion, I feel that this is psychologically a very, very good move. Why? Because it actually allowed me into a false sense of security. Now, my first reaction when I saw this move was, it's alright, you know, what is White trying to prove here? That you're just developing a knight away from the action that's all happening on the king side. You're not doing anything to slow me down. No, I can just proceed on with my normal plan, which is rook to g8, and that's exactly what I played after you see the time taken, 3 minutes 11 seconds to 3 minutes 6 seconds. I spent less than 6 seconds over here on this move. And the problem is that I completely did, because I thought that, why there's no threats, he's not doing anything on the king side. And I just completely overlooked the fact that he had this very powerful resource. Knight to b5, check. And even at this stage, I still felt that, hey, you know what, okay, fine, you give me a check, I'm going to take on this bishop. But it's alright, I have enough firepower on the king side. That is my thought process at the time. So I just say, okay, king to d7, knight takes d6. Alright. Everything is all fine for the kill now. I can go in. Knight takes f2. Yay, hooray, I'm going to win this. Or am I? Queen takes f2. Rook to h6 check. Alright, you think I'm going to win, right? Because yeah, you can't block. You can't block. Why cannot block? You can block. Queen to h2. And guess what? Guess what? I have nothing. I have nothing after this. I have nothing. You take. I just down an entire rook and a bishop over here. Rest in peace. And yeah, actually over here, when I saw the position, I realized I completely overlooked this and I resigned. Yeah. So yeah, guys, now you know why I lost this game, 0-1. Yeah, so where exactly did Black go wrong in this game? Right. Let's go back to this position. And actually the computer suggestion here is a6. Instead of rook to g8, which he listed as a blunder, he just played a6. a6. Really putting a stop to him. And let's say after White moves something like c4, try to complicate the position, blow the whole thing open. Now I can play knight takes f2 and become very dangerous for White. Because if we follow the same line, king takes f2, takes, and now you see the difference. He cannot play this because my bishop is still here. You see that? I still have artillery support over here with my bishop, so he cannot play that. The king has to move here, and after this, good enough to White. It's going to be made in a few moves time. I can just play out the variation for you. It's something like this, and that's made. And the key difference between this position and the previous one is that I still had this bishop on the board, as compared to here. Let's say in the main line, after knight takes d5 and all this shit that happened, I have no more bishop here. I have no more support. And therefore queen to h2, he just, and Black just loses over here. Right. Simply because of one move, a6, and I just threw this whole game away. Yeah. Right. Yeah, actually that's it for my coverage of today's game. As you can see, it was a very tragic game because of one move. If I actually stopped and thought about White's potential threats over here, with knight to b5, and I would have seen a6. I would have seen a6 instead of going autopilot and play rook to g8. And honestly, I do feel that this habit of playing very autopilot moves when I'm following a plan instead of watching out for my opponent's threats, like basically playing autopilot moves is something that I had a problem with for a very long time, especially in the opening. Right, I did fix that to a certain extent in my opening training, but it does look like I still face this problem in the middle game and also in the end game. And definitely this is one of the things that I will be focusing on in the future when I am, when I, as I proceed on in my chess training. Yeah, it's strange. Why is the, why? Come on guys, you guys promised me a raid and there's still like one viewer here. Alright. By the way, yeah, for a moment I thought like my comments got disabled or something, but apparently you guys are still watching, so yeah. It's alright. You guys can always read me uh, in my subsequent live streams. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for today actually. Like I said, I need to work on trying to reduce my habit of playing autopilot moves and really just learn to look out for my opponent's threats, even if especially if I'm focusing a lot on one plan at the side of the board. Yeah. Right, and that's it for today. Thank you very much for going through this game together with me. And yeah, if you have been enjoying my trashy live streams and commentaries over the past few months, do feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to me. You can see all my various social media channels at this side at the top of the screen over here. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching and see you another day.